Good morning, everyone. Chuck here, Corner Store Card Collector, with another video of a PSA reveal. This one is from the 1960s, the swinging 60s. This was a special back pre-COVID. As you can see, I submitted this on February 26th of 2001, and PSA received it on 4/22/2001. So it sat up there for almost 2 months. Right around 2 months before they even looked at it. And again, this was the monthly special, the Swingin' 60s. As you can see down here, it was $9 a card, and I have 33 cards submitted. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 33 cards that I got. First, there was one card that was returned uncased, and it is a 1960 Mickey Mantle, and it says it was miscut. Which, if you look at it, card's in really good condition, but the bottom, you can see, I would imagine that's what they were calling the miscut. So I'm going to resubmit this one and see if I can't get it in a slab. So only one card didn't get returned, so I got 32 cards that got graded. And we'll start with my first one, which is this 1960s Rival All-Stars Mickey Mantle card. Came back in a PSA 2. I wasn't expecting big things for this card. You can obviously see there's some wear on it. The corners are well rounded, soft, but you know, Mickey Mantle PSA 2. The next one is this 1961 Topps Ron Santos rookie card in a PSA 6. Pretty decent looking card. Again, Ron Santos rookie card, PSA 6. Next up is this 1961 Willie Mays in a PSA 6. Pretty nice looking card. You can obviously see it's off center, left to right, and top to bottom. But overall, a very nice looking card. Next up is this 1961 Bob Gibson in a PSA 4. I thought this card would have done a little bit better based on what I was looking at, but PSA thought different. Anyways, a PSA 4 is not bad for 1961 Bob Gibson. Next up is this 1962 Lou Brock rookie in a PSA 4. Card's got some surface issues. You can see the corners are soft on it. You can see some whitening right there. Nice Lou Brock rookie. Next up, I have two of these 1962 Hank Aaron cards, one in a PSA 4 and then one in a PSA 3. Both cards look almost the same. I'm not sure how they determined one was a 3 and one was a 4, but they look almost the same. This one actually has a little bit more rounded corners, so I would imagine it was at the 4 and this is a 3, so that's probably what brought the grade down. But anyways, one in a 4, one in a 3, 1962 Hank Aaron. Next up is this 1962 Ernie Banks in a PSA 4. Pretty nice looking card. All of these cards will be going into my PC, except for that PSA 3 Hank Aaron. I'll probably sell that one. Here's another 1962 Topps Manager's Dream with Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays in a PSA 4. Pretty decent looking card. Next up is this 1962 Bob Clemente in a PSA 4. Nice looking card. Next up is this 1962 Harmon Killebrew in a PSA 4. Decent looking card. You can see the centering is off left and right. Soft corners. Nice PSA 4. Next up is this 1962 LK line in a PSA 4. Alright, next up is this 1962 Sandy Koufax in a PSA 3. It does have a qualifier in there being miscut. As you can see, the top is a very, very small margin of the border there. Kind of looks like that 60 Mantle. I wish that 60 Mantle would have got slabbed. Anyways, 1962 Sandy Koufax in a PSA 3. Next up is this 1963 LK line in a PSA 6. You can see there's some print defects there. The back looks clean. So 1963 LK line, PSA 6. Next up is this 1963 Topps Robin Roberts in a PSA 4. Nice looking card. Alright, next we have a 1963 Topps Sandy Koufax in a PSA 3. You can see some issues with the corner up in that upper left. Card looks like it presents a little bit better than a PSA 3. Alright, next up we have this 1963 Topps Brooks Robinson in a PSA 4. Okay, next up we have this 1963 Topps Frank Robinson in a PSA 4. Not bad. Okay, next up we have this 1961 American League Home Run Leaders in a PSA 4. You can see we have Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, nice card. Okay, next up we have this 1964 Topps Hank Aaron in a PSA 3. You can see the corners up here got some issues going on. Bottom left one pretty rounded. Decent card though. Okay, next up we have this 1965 Topps Roberto Clemente in a PSA 3. Not a bad card. I'm not too particular about my grades, especially when these cards are going in my PC. I don't really care about I don't collect the grades, I collect the players. Next up is this 1965 rookie of Tony Perez in a PSA 1.5. Yeah, this guy, I knew it had issues going into it when I decided to send it in. I thought I'd do a little bit better. I was hoping for a 2, maybe a 3. 1.5. Okay, next up is this 1967 Topps Willie Mays in a PSA 4. Okay, next we have a 1967 Topps Ernie Banks in a PSA 1.5. Again, this is another card that I'm not sure the low grade. I know there's some issues with the card. But there's no creases, there's no tears, there's no paper loss. Not sure what gave it the 1.5. I'll have to look at these cards a little bit closer. All right, next up, I have 2 of these 1968 Topps Tom Seaver rookie cards. One in a PSA 4 and one in a PSA 1.5. Okay, this one's the 4 right here. Here's the 1.5. Okay, next up is this 1968 Johnny Bench rookie in a PSA 2. All right, next is this 1969 Topps Ernie Banks in a PSA 2. All right, next I have this 1969 Topps Catfish Hunter in a PSA 6. Nice looking card. Okay, next up is this 1969 Topps Tom Seaver in a PSA 6. All right, next up is this 1969 Topps Nolan Ryan in a 1.5. Again, this is another card that I knew going into it had some issues with it, but there's no creases. There's nothing major wrong except for some corner issues. So I'd have to look at this card a little bit closer to see why that graded out at a 1.5. It definitely presents way better than a 1.5. Anyways, 1969 Topps Nolan Ryan. And finally, the last card of this order is the 1969 Topps Pete Rose in a PSA 4. Nice Pete Rose card. All right, so that's it for this reveal. Again, this was a 33 card submission that I put in right in the COVID stages. I think it was submitted in February of 2021, and it was processed by PSA in April of 2021. So it took about 16, 17 months for this order to come back. Okay, thank you for watching.